Hey everyone, welcome to Craft Beer Me, a show by beer drinkers for beer drinkers. My name is Carlos.
I'm Derek.
And we're here at Benchmark Brewing. And today we're joined by...
Well, I'm Matt, and this is Rachael. We are co-founders. I am also the brewmaster here, so I make the beer.
And I am what we call the brand Czar. I manage and design everything that goes out into the world for public viewing and interaction. I drew the can art and designed the space we're standing in. Pretty much everything you see or hear about Benchmark, I had my hands on.
Wow. So where are you located and why did you choose this location for the people who aren't aware?
We're located at 6190 Fairmount Avenue, Sweet G. We're in the Grantville neighborhood of San Diego. We're on Fairmount, in between the Kaiser buildings and the Home Depot. Home Depot is what everybody knows.
We get a lot of traffic from Home Depot.
Yeah.
People in paint splotched clothes,
Yep.
stopping for a beer.
Yep.
Sometimes more than once in a day.
Yes.
Lunch break.
Well,
you never get everything you need in the first run to Home Depot. Come on, we all know that.
Okay. So what led to the Benchmark theme and design?
So Matt and I kicked around names for a long time when we were starting to plan the brewery, and one morning we were walking the dog, and I said, "What about Benchmark?" And he goes, "Meh." And then he slept on it, and the next morning he goes, "What about Benchmark?"
Got a great idea.
Like it was my
idea.
And so Benchmark was born. But we really love the idea that it relates to our family's love of outdoors and camping and hiking. Benchmarks are USGS markers that are used to benchmark maps. So back in the day when maps were drawn and scouted by hand, they needed something on the earth to be able to find it next time and verify that, the terrain was the same. There's that aspect of it, and then we also have the setting the standard aspect of it. We are really focused on making classic styles.
Very focused on session beers here. After all those years at AleSmith making the very high alcohol beers that I still love, but I can only drink one of, and I'm being generous to myself there, if you want to be honest.
As we get older.
Yeah, that Speedway Stout has a little bit of a kick to it. Yeah. Well, I realized finally, I got smart or something and realized that what I really enjoyed doing was hanging out with a bunch of friends in the afternoon and having a few beers. Well, still being able to stand up instead of just going straight past vertical, So we focus on session strength beers. Our core lineup, table beer, blonde ale, brown ale, oatmeal stout, and IPA are between 4 and 5.1% alcohol. Classic takes on styles, still full character and full flavor, full body, but easier to drink a few of.
Yeah.
So what beer are we having right now? What can you tell us about it?
This is Oatmeal Stout, 2014 Great American Beer Festival, gold medal in the session beer category. Yeah, this is a very small beer with a very big character.
It's got a lot of hop character to it that most people attribute more to a roastiness or a dark chocolate kind of bitterness, but it's hops that are being used to create that sensation. So,
when it's really, really fresh, like the first couple weeks of it, you can actually get a little grapefruit character coming through in the flavor. So you get all this big, roasty, chocolatey coffee character. And then right in the finish, ooh, a little grapefruit zest. Ooh, that's nice. So, yeah.
I am getting a lot of that, what you said, that hop flavor that some would confuse for that roast. Out of that.
I mean, there's a lot of roast there, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just finishes off with that little bit of citrus character going on.
It has a really good body to it, too, and considering that it's a session beer, like I'd be completely fooled, by
It's fooled many.
Yeah.
Someday it will come out in cans.
hopefully sooner than later. We're working on it.
Yeah.
It's mainly a real estate issue.
Yeah, we've got some cans around here, and we're running out of places to put them.
Just a little.
Yeah. So,
If you wouldn't have said anything, I wouldn't have noticed.
I know, right?
You'd be amazed how many people come through here and they're like, "You guys got cans?" I'm like, "They've been here for a year," and they're like,
Yeah.
"No way."
What?
Yeah.
Wait, the cans are multiplying. No, we're just using more space in the back nowadays.
They're not floor space.
Yeah.
So what kind of events do you guys hold here? I mean, we can kind of hear something going on upstairs. So like, what else do you do to like incorporate the local community or other
Sure.
businesses?
Yeah.
We have yoga every Saturday, as you can hear, going on upstairs. We do Locals Wednesdays every week, where we pick one of our core beers and sell it for $2 for a full pour.
Wow.
We are
Two locals.
Two locals.
You have to live in the area.
Yeah.
If you know the Grantville neighborhood, you're probably doing okay.
So we also are a CSA pickup locations. That's community supported agriculture. You can come pick up your farm share, where you get fruit and vegetable
nice.
every second Wednesday, and that's part of the Locals Night thing. Yoga, the Locals deal, and the CSA all happen on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays are a busy night around
yeah.
here, actually.
It's fun though. On the last Saturday of every month, we do a guided tasting in the afternoon. Matt or Brian or I will sit with you in the brew house at some picnic tables and go through a collection of beers that support some theme. This time we're doing hops. We've done yeast, we've done malt, we do a like Benchmark 101, just kind of gives you an introduction to what we do here.
We basically hang out and drink beer. Really,
It's really
let's
rough.
be honest about it.
It's a tough job. It's something
Yeah.
So, but it's only $10, and it's our chance to sort of bring people into the fold of Benchmark.
For beer number 2, we're going to go ahead and move over to the tables real quick.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So why should people visit and buy Benchmark?
On the Trail Crew handle, we always have something different. It's like it could be anything in the world. Anyone on our staff who can prove to Matt that they make clean beer can brew on the Trail Crew system. We also have all of our interns through the UCSD program brew a beer on the Trail Crew system. So you get a lot of different minds contributing to that.
And beer
that
flavored
series
beer
of
rules are thrown out the door on the Trail Crew system.
we
You really
did a
can't
Gorp
do
beer
anything.
that was what's Gorp?
Good old raisins and
peanuts. So it tastes, and it, my God, it was a summer ale, and it tasted like beer, but you could get chocolate and raisins and peanut butter,
Wow.
and it was
And I think
very interesting. It was easy to drink too. It
We
shocked
used
me.
the granola oatmeal raisins and peanuts
Right.
definition instead of good old raisins and peanuts. So it had all of those ingredients in it,
Wow.
including M&Ms and crushed M&Ms.
Yeah, like
and-
really, honestly. Matt's done breakfast, a beer he did a lot when he was home brewing, which has honey nut Cheerios in it.
Oh man.
So it's a honey
Wow.
nut brown ale
Yeah.
with honey nut Cheerios. So it gets pretty wild.
Literally breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we get like a keg and a half out of it, and we never sell it to bars. So this is the only place you can taste it.
What beer are we having right now, and what can you tell us about it?
We're drinking table beer.
All right.
This is a Belgian style table beer. Citrusy, peppery, little pear, crisp, refreshing. We also use what's called acid malt in it. That it literally adds a little bit of an acid bite to it in the finish. This is something that you can experience a whole lot of in Belgium. All those Trappist breweries in Belgium that make the big, huge
Yeah.
beers that
We see on
we're
the
all
shelves
familiar
here.
with, that we see. But you know what else they do? Is they make a small beer, table beer. Some of them are awesome, some of them are not as awesome. But it's generally a lower alcohol beer that they make for the brothers. Well, if you go back historically, you had to drink beer because the water wasn't safe to drink. And so they just made a smaller alcohol beer, and that would be what they drank at lunch or in
While they
between
were
work,
fasting.
in between prayers, and while they were fasting, they
At
got
the
their
table.
nutrients.
At the table, yeah.
Exactly.
It's also known as Father's beer, Pater beer.
Yeah. But yeah, I often joke that they have to drink the table beer in the middle of the day because they want to be able to pray straight to God still in the afternoon instead of having their 10% beer. And, half gets a little
Wally.
windier after that.
That's hilarious.
And the other part of the tradition is that they build these beers with ingredients they already have on hand. So they're always going to be similar to those big beers that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
They're just scaled down and easy to drink.
Like a big brother, little brother.
Yeah.
Kind of version.
Very much so. Very much so.
And ours at 4% is a little big.
To be honest, but
Traditionally.
we are in San Diego, and so people
used
think
to it.
4%
And ours is a
pretty
commercial
small.
beer. Theirs
So-
is a,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so it really works very, very well on these warm summer afternoons, but it's also great in between dishes because it's very palate cleansing at the same time with that acid and carbonation going on. So, yeah, this beer does a lot of different things.
Magical, it sounds like.
It's a go-to. So it was a pretty easy choice that this was going to be one of the ones going into cans.
yes.
No. But I thought you were going somewhere else with that question because this wasn't originally in our lineup.
Oh.
We didn't make this beer when we opened.
Yeah, when
So-
we opened, it was Blonde Brown Stout and IPA, and we had San Diego 71, which is our anniversary double IPA. Table beer was a Thanksgiving beer. We did table beer and our Belgian double, thinking you have your dinner beer and then a dessert beer with the double. And Matt liked it too much to let it go.
Table beer has been a passion project for me for a long time, and so I've made a whole lot of them. This was probably about the 15th take. I used a yeast I had never used, made a full batch of it, and just kind of winged it on this one. I got this beer on tap the first time, poured myself a splash to see what it tasted like before we, let everybody at it. I'd been tasting it along the way. I go, interesting. Finally, poured it. Oh, shit. I have to keep this on tap year round. And it stuck just from that day. It has been on the year-round list. And then when it did come time for cans, I really wanted it in cans because it's what I want to drink in cans. But there was some debate, do we go with the Blonde Ale over it? Because that's a more known thing. Blonde Ale is part of the reason the whole naming of the beers in the core lineup.
But the can is like a little soldier out in the world explaining, it's an ambassador. It's out there saying, table beer. You want table beer.
See it over and over and over again, and it conditions you. And you know what? I've seen that. I'm
So
going to
it's
have
sort of
that.
broadening the knowledge of what a table beer is.
So that about wraps it up. If anybody doesn't know too much about Benchmark and they want to know and find out about more, where can they find you guys?
So we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Benchmark Brewing or Benchmark Brew. We also are on Pinterest, and we have a pretty decent website up there. So that's benchmarkbrewing.com. We're at 6190 Fairmount Avenue. We're in Suite G. It's a pretty industrial building. We have a monument sign and try to keep a flag down by the driveway, so that helps. But yeah, come on down, see what we got going on here.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at craftbeermesd and craftbeermesd.com. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Cheers to Benchmark.
Cheers.
Cheers.